and welcome to our latest update from the Textbook Commission Subcommittee on Digital Resources. I think we start with a roll call to establish quorum. So Dr. Fair, if you could do that for us.
Okay. Commissioner William Cheshire. Commissioner Angela Flowers.
Commissioner Flowers, present.
Commissioner Hannah Jimenez.
Commissioner Jimenez, present.
Commissioner Kathleen Linker.
Commissioner Kathleen Linker, present.
And Commissioner Lindsay Size.
Dr. Fair, Commissioner Size is on, but she's muted.
I can see.
And I think she's on the phone, on her phone, so maybe that's.
Okay, let me see. Commissioner Lindsay Size, can you hear me?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Commissioner Sice here.
All right, so you have quorum. You have 4, so you have quorum.
Okay, then we will start by looking at the minutes, and when everybody's had a chance to look at them, if you want to kind of entertain a motion to approve, and then we need a second.
Commissioner Jimenez, motion to approve the minutes.
Commissioner Jimenez made a motion to approve the minutes. Do we have a second?
Commissioner Sice, second.
Okay, and so Dr. Fair, if you can call the roll and we will all vote.
Okay, Commissioner Angela Flowers.
Commissioner Flowers, aye.
Commissioner Hannah Jimenez.
Commissioner Jimenez, aye.
Commissioner Kathleen Linker.
Commissioner Kathleen Linker, aye.
And Commissioner Lindsay Size.
Commissioner Lindsay Sice, aye.
Okay. Everyone in attendance agreed.
So the minutes have been approved. That gets us to our next thing, which is our work that we've been working on for quite a few months now. That would be looking at the changes and updates to the advisors course. And so I was looking at, if everybody take a minute, make sure you're logged in so you can see. First of all, thank you to Commissioner Jimenez, who's gone in and added some things for us, including our introduction page. I tried to put my picture in it, took up the whole screen, so I obviously didn't do it correctly, so I took it out. So I'll work on that to get that up in that introduction part. But thank you for doing that and adding the parking lot, the parking and packing tips. That was part of the suggestions for the from the advisors in their input.
Yep, Commissioner Jimenez, no problem. I also went in and added a discussion board for questions and concerns to every module except for the welcome and the first one, or yeah, like the what I need to know before evaluation week. And I did that because I thought that the carpooling and packing tips, any questions would probably come up within that discussion board. And if not, then they could always use the next module's discussion board for any questions.
Yeah, that looks really nice. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing we were going to talk about, other than I guess we need to go in and take add a picture and a little bio for that, and then I mean, I think that we also probably need to before we actually release it. So we probably need maybe. By then we'll have an opportunity to have like a group photo of all of the commission as a whole, because we had talked about doing that before COVID locked us down, and we weren't able to meet as a group. That was actually on our last official meeting that we had to change to remote, was to have a group picture. So we could also probably add that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the other things that I had to do and we're working on, is the resources to go into math, CTE, well, mostly EC and EL. And so a little quick update, we, Dr. Fair and I did talk to the DPI consultants to get some suggestions of, what they would think would be important and helpful for the advisors for that. And they are sharing some things, but in some cases it's going to be bookmarks because, for example, EL, WIDA is in the middle of being revised. And so we're going to put the current WIDA standards in for the EL teachers, but that's just a placeholder because there's going to be an update. So we'll need to change that out whenever that update's released in the spring. And then they had mentioned their slides, and I know you guys can think back, but when we had our last meeting, probably our face-to-face meeting, they presented to us their slides already to the commission, which is pretty much what they will also present to the advisors when we are in training mode. And so we can also add like their presentation slides in that course for a reference. We already have it to put in because they don't recommend any changes at this time to what they already proposed. And so just waiting for them to send that, but we will add that up in the ECEL was just be their presentation and then a link for the WIDA standards, knowing that that's going to be changed as soon as they're updated. And then the other thing we had talked about adding, like the unpacking documents. And so like, I think maybe we should come back and revisit that because I've kind of thought about it and kind of what you guys think. But I mean, hopefully at this point they've had at least a year. I mean, had we done this in June, they would have been new standards, but they've had them now. So they've had a little time in the math and the CTE. Advisors would have some time in the standards and their blueprints. And I don't know, I think maybe having too much resources might sidetrack or take up time that we really don't have. They really should already know the standards well enough. So what do you guys think? I mean, if we put it in there, it's a resource so that if they have to have it, but hopefully they wouldn't need it anyway because they're already current on practices. Any thoughts on that? The exception might be if we have to do something with the WIDA standards if they come out at the last minute. Some sort, if there's any kind of support documents for that changeover. What are your thoughts on that? Yes, add. No, don't. Like crosswalks or unpacking documents.
Commissioner Jimenez, personally, I feel like that they should really already know where their stuff is and that we shouldn't have to provide it. However, I don't think it would be a bad idea just to go ahead and have it there because as I'm learning, like with Canvas just in general, sometimes it's easier to just have everything already built into the platform.
Everything in one place.
Yeah, and especially once we do evaluation week, whatever technical difficulties might happen to the people while they're there, it might just be best if we have, we try to think in advance of all those things that might happen, and at least we have everything already linked, even if that means we do have to go back and update links closer to the time. Just my 2 cents about that.
Any other discussion? I mean, we'll just go ahead and put them in there, and this is part of our training. We would just need to maybe mention that it's there. Should they be needed, but hopefully they wouldn't they wouldn't need to refer to them. I just would hate for someone to spend a lot of time digging in an unpacking document when they should be digging into the materials, the submission materials. But yeah, I can see that, especially since sometimes we ask them to review something they might not have taught like that year. So to be like a refresher.
This is Flowers. I agree with you, Commissioner Linker.
So unpacking documents, but maybe not the crosswalks. And I don't think everything has crosswalks. I'm not even sure everything has unpacking documents, but what there is available, I'll just add a link to it.
This is Flowers. I was wondering if any CTE classes with blueprints, they probably wouldn't need an unpacking document, would they?
Yeah, I'm not sure they have unpacking documents, or I haven't seen them, but I'll go back and ask them if there's anything that they think would be important. There's some new courses, but there wouldn't be an unpacking for it because it's a new course. But I'll double check with them because I did not ask CTE. We just talked primarily to math and EL and EC, just to see if there's anything they would recommend in addition to that they would want them to bring if they were asked them to bring. We're just going to put a digital link in the folder for them as well. So, and I think, unless I forgot something, I think that is everything we were going to act on. We had some discussion about the video, and I think some people said it was long. We talked about maybe clipping it, but then did we not decide that we would just leave it like it is?
Commissioner Jimenez, yes. So what I did was on 2 videos on that same page. So I went in and like the first video was kind of like a required viewing. But the second one, I made a note that said this video is optional, but may answer any questions you have because it shares very personalized advisor experience. But don't feel like you need to watch all of it, essentially. Just to kind of put it out there that we know it's long and it's not something that has to be watched in its entirety, but it might be beneficial if they choose to watch it.
That sounds good. So unless someone has any other suggestions, I mean, I feel like we're pretty much done except for updating things as they get updated. And then, of course, Dr. Fair and DPI, they're going to go back and look, make sure it's meets all the DPI requirements for accessibility. I feel like this is pretty much done for what we can do now. Everything else would be added like right before evaluation week. Does everyone agree?
Yes, I agree, Commissioner.
Commissioner Zeiss, I agree.
Mr. Flowers, I agree.
So I think our next step is that we probably need to meet with the commission as a whole so that everyone can look at what we've been working at. We can share our work and the modules, see feedback on that. And so I think our next step would be to look for tentative dates, tentatively January. So Dr. Fair, if you could do that, maybe come up with some dates and poll the commission as a general, like the whole body.
Commissioner Linker, this is Carmela. Do you have dates that you know will work for you so that we can maybe center them around your being able to attend, and then you can share those with me and then I can start with those?
I can say at this time right now, we are tentatively scheduled in our district to be fully face-to-face the first week in January. So I would not do the first week in January.
So any other day, any other week will be fine?
Any other day would be fine. I can work around it as long as I know in advance. It's just that first week coming back from Christmas break, the 5th is when we come back. And I know that that is the tentative plan for my district, is to go to plan A on that day.
Okay. And what time of day or afternoon would you suggest?
I think we should do it, and maybe if we do it like maybe the second or third week, and so people are back in their routine. Now that I think about it, we have at least 3 high school people that may be starting different courses. So maybe the third week in January. I think we do it like we did before. We do it at 9 o'clock in the morning. If we're going to do it virtually, at this point, I don't think we can schedule anything face to face. So I think we just do a virtual meeting.
Okay.
Is everybody okay with that? To do it virtually?
Commissioner
Flowers?
Fix, that's fine.
I'm okay.
It's choppy.
Yeah, I think it's just easier to go on a plan for that than to plan for face to face and have to change plans, especially all the logistics that would have to happen. Should that even be, allowed? Does anybody else have anything that you can think of schedule wise? I just know maybe that the first 2 weeks people may be getting settled. Commission members that work at a high school level will be getting settled with their new second semester courses. And I do know we have 2 that are, at least 2, maybe 3 that are high school.
Commissioner Jimenez, as long as we stay in the afternoons, I think I can probably make anything work. I know January for middle school, at least for me, is a lot of testing, but as long as it's in the afternoon, I can make it work.
Dr. Fair, I think Commissioner Cheshire is in, but he's maybe in as an attendee. And he was just now able to get on, and he says the third week in January is good for him too.
Okay.
I'm not sure which person he is in the attendees, but maybe if he can, can they chat? Can they?
Is he calling in on his phone? I mean, I see 3 names and then I see a phone number.
Let me see.
That's probably him. He's been texting.
He's
He
an
said the third
attendee. I'm waiting for a response, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
I know he can hear us. Yes, he's the phone.
Okay. I can unmute him, but right now I can't see how I can make him a
Okay.
panelist. So let's see if he'll unmute. He might have to unmute himself.
Yep, I'm unmuted. Everybody got me?
Yep, we can hear. Welcome.
Yep. Hey, mid-January. Oh, thank you guys. Hope everybody's Halloween holiday was well. So, in any event, yeah, mid-Jan is good for me. Later is better. 9 o'clock is probably a little aggressive in my world right now.
So Jimenez and Cheshire, are you thinking like this late, like 3, or is 2 doable? Because I don't know that how long the meeting would be planned for, like time wise. I mean, I'm thinking an hour, but it could be more than an hour, depending on how much discussion and if there's anything else to talk about at that time.
I am flexible. I can go at any time. Just my concern is if everyone's or some counties are going to Plan A.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what the extra hours are going to be when it's time to come back and do Plan A stuff, if I'm making sense. So is later a viable option? I think maybe 2:30, 3 o'clock, somewhere around there. After lunch, probably close to the...
You broke a phone.
What do we think about, say, 2 o'clock? Is that too early? Jimenez, you think your testing will be wrapping up at that point? I know with you being the lead tech person and a lot of the assessments being online.
This is Flowers. I'm still teaching. I finished at like 2:45, even though we're going to be virtual.
And you're teaching live?
Yes.
Okay.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
So
I'm
yeah,
pretty flexible on Tuesdays.
Commissioner Jimenez, I think like it based on what Commissioner Flowers said, if we did like a Tuesday or a Thursday, just as long as I have a good like whatever we decide, like good notice, we'll make it work.
So if we pick Tuesday and Thursday and say 2 o'clock,
Yeah.
Dr. Fair, does that sound doable?
Yes, Commissioner Flowers was
For 2
indicating
weeks.
that she's not available till after 2:45.
Well, I
So I
thought
can do a range of times.
meant Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Commissioner Flowers, are you available at 2 o'clock on the days you're not live?
Yes.
Okay.
You might have to push out, and you may have to do two, like give them 2 weeks, because you're only talking about 2 days, one time. 2 days, 2 times.
What is the length of time for the meeting?
The purpose of the meeting is to go over the modules, and it would be both modules to give them a chance to like look at them and talk about the purpose behind them and where we are on our what our mission was, what our task was, because we had a couple of different things that we've been working on since we've talked to them last as a commission. I thought at least an hour. I mean, it might be a little bit more. I mean, it really could be up to 2 hours. So like, I don't want to start too late, because I know people, one, they're going to be tired. The ones that are working, they're going to be at school. If you're starting about talking at 2, I mean, I don't know how subs work. You do a half a day sub, I guess, for the ones that are in the classroom. I just don't know about starting it at 2 and paying for half a day sub.
I can try to make it work. I don't want to make it harder and difficult than it has to be.
Well, I think Commissioner Mendez did have a point. I know we're doing testing when we get back. I personally just am not involved with whatever's online. So do we think 1 o'clock is too early? Jimenez and Flowers and Sice, because I know you're at a district level. You may have something to do with the
I'm good. Actually, Tuesdays and Thursdays, my schedules are clear, so those will be perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do any time on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
So do we say Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1?
Tuesdays,
I'm fine with that.
yeah, Tuesdays works for me except for the morning, but I'm more flexible on Tuesdays than Thursday.
Yeah, that'll work for me as well.
So Dr. Fair, I would say Tuesdays and give like 2 or 3 options of the days, and say 1 to 3. That's a 2-hour time period.
Okay. All right, I'll do that.
And then if anyone requires a sub, they would just need a sub for half a day, since we're not traveling. So if you can do that for us. And as far as our work as a subcommittee, I don't see that we need to meet again before that time. Do you guys see that we need to meet again before we meet to share out? If we want, we could do in pairs, like if Jimenez and Sice, if you want to go through yours and make notes, because you could present the commission members, and then Flowers and we can do the advisors, like plan on presenting it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that sounds good.
We don't have to need to do that. If it's just 2 people talking and it's just talking about the logistics of what to include in the presentation other than the actual Canvas course. unless you guys want to meet again before then. I mean, I'm open. You guys tell me what you think you need.
Commissioner Faith, I'm good with whatever way Hannah wants to do it. I can go through it and just make notes as to what I see, like being an outside person looking at it, or we can meet as a team. It doesn't matter. It's whatever she's got time for, because she's going to be running like a crazy person with testing.
Okay, Commissioner Linker, you and I can get together whenever that works for me.
Dr. Fair, does that sound doable then? That as we won't meet as a subcommittee again, everyone will plan to meet at whatever date that the majority of the commission votes on for the whole commission.
Yes, that sounds doable. I'll be sure to get the poll out to everyone to see about their availability for Tuesdays from 1 to 3. And I'll also check to see if anybody would need a sub.
Okay. Okay, I think that takes care of all of that I have on my to-do list. Does anybody have anything you need to talk about or add, or are we good? If there's no discussion, we could entertain a motion to adjourn.
Commissioner Cheshire, motion to adjourn.
Okay, so I have a motion to adjourn by Commissioner Cheshire. Can I have a second?
Commissioner Faith, I second.
And Commissioner Sice, second. Dr. Fair, if you can do the roll call.
Sure. Commissioner William Cheshire,
Commissioner Cheshire, yes.
Commissioner Angela Flowers,
Commissioner Flowers, aye.
Commissioner Hannah Jimenez,
Commissioner Jimenez, aye.
Commissioner Kathleen Linker,
Commissioner Kathleen Linker, aye.
and Commissioner Lindsay Sice.
Commissioner Lindsay Sice, aye.
Okay, so everyone is in agreement.
Everyone's in agreement, and so we will be back together as a whole group commission body in January, hopefully, tentatively. So that would be it. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye, everybody.
All right, bye.